So I've been making videos for close to a year, and I've been wanting to get better at storytelling, but it's been hard to make a story out of my day-to-day life. Most of the time what I do is either hanging out with friends or doing this by myself. Although there's nothing wrong with these and I enjoy doing it, it's hard to make stories out of it, or at least stories that I can put into videos without dragging a camera around to every gathering I go to. So today I wanted to try and figure that out, and I decided to start by first not writing. Usually I prefer to study or get work done in my room, but the past couple weeks I've consistently done nothing when there's plenty of work to get done. So even though it was already later in the evening, I decided to go out and study in one of the buildings on campus. Since the summer started, these places have been mostly empty, so there's essentially nobody else in here, making it a really nice place to work. It's so quiet here. You can probably hear a pen drop. My goal for today is to figure out some branding. I need to decide on a name for the app as well as some kind of mascot or logo, and get an idea of some foundational colors to base the color palette off of. When it comes to names, I always like to start at saying what things mean. So since the goal of this application is to help people with studying and taking notes, we need something that reflects that. So I took a look at symbols of knowledge and learning and names that are sort of adjacent to those ideas. Some common things I found were symbols like turtles, elephants, and owls. This led me to looking at colors like blue, green, brown, and yellow. From there, I looked more into names, and after being stuck on an actual name for the app for a while, I decided to get some help from everyone's favorite future world leader, ChatGPT. This is also a good example of how to use AI as a tool to help your own creativity instead of using it to do all of the work for you. A lot of times I find it's hard to describe what I'm thinking of or like where to start with searching. So asking ChatGPT for some help usually gets that process going. In this case, I described the type of name I'm looking for and got a few lists of names that I liked, and I wrote a few of them down. Later, I'm going to take this to the other people on my team, and we're going to go through them, change them a little bit, and try and find some names that are closer to what we're looking for, but these are a really nice place to start. Although I was able to get a good bit of work done after an hour had passed, I started to worry about my original problem that got me out here. How do I make a story out of all of this? At the end of the day, I can make as many videos about the code and my process as I want, but people only care if there's a good story behind it. And also, I'll personally have more fun if I'm writing and editing a story instead of a guy sitting in front of a computer doing nonsense for 5 to 18 minutes. But I was still stuck at this problem of not being able to find stories in my everyday life, especially when I'm just writing code or going to get food each day. So after working for another hour or so, I started packing up and made my way back home for the night. After getting home and writing up the ideas I'd found and sending it all out to my team, I started to realize what the problem was. Each day I was expecting a story to happen when that's not necessarily going to always happen. And sure, there's an argument that a good storyteller can tell a good story when nothing happens, but I'm not a good storyteller, and these haven't been good stories. And I realized that in order to make good stories, I needed to go out and find them. Because if I stick to passively waiting every day for a story to happen, then every video that I make is just going to be